This is Starfox Adventures in a nutshell, provided to you by Bdubskip. Anyway, okay, it starts off. It's like it's raining, and then some blue fox named Crystal is flying around on some dinosaur thing, and she's like, "Huh, why is it not cool to hold? I'm gonna test Sook." And then after that, like everybody's like, is this game Japanese or is it English? But then anyway, she's basically saying, I gotta find the distress signal, and then some fireball shoots her, and then knocks her staff out of her hand or whatever, and then she's like, ah! And then this big old ship comes down, and then I guess the ship is trying to destroy Crystal. So then Crystal like he's slapping Dinosaur in the back of the neck, causing him to shoot fireballs. And then once he's like killed the ship or whatever, Crystal got on top of the ship, and she was like, let's be nosy. So then she walked around, and she's like looking around, snooping around and stuff. And then after that, freaking, she finds like a key or something, and then she gets all happy. And then the song goes like, and then she's sitting there posing for like 40 minutes, and she's like, yeah. And then after that, she goes outside, and then she sees General Scales, and then General Scales is like, what are you doing? What are you doing on my ship? And she's like, Teskak. And then after that, freaking General Scales is like, okay, I'm getting tired of you. And then he grabs her by the throat, and then he throws her off the boat, and then he laughs. He's like, but then after that, Crystal got saved by a dinosaur she was flying on earlier, and she was like, General, more the camo. And after that, like General Scales was like, yeah, it's and then Crystal was like, let's go find the distress signal. So then they flew to this place called Resort Palace, and then she was like, Kusaho, no, not Kusaho. And then apparently that means the bird must leave. So then the bird left. After that, Crystal was walking around. And then eventually she found this dinosaur that's about to die. And he was like, and then Crystal was like, So then after that, like the dinosaur was like, go to the Krazoa Palace and get the Krazoa spirit and then put it into the Krazoa Shine Krazoa. So then after that, Crystal was like Krazoa. So then she went and got the Krazoa spirit, and then after that, she got back to the dinosaur, and then she was like, what do I do now? And then he was like, yeah. So then after that, Crystal went to the shrine, and she like released the spirit, and then she was like, yeah, I did it. And then she turned around, and then all of a sudden she got clothesline, right? And then she got knocked like 45 yards into this big old crystal, and she was stuck, and then she was like, and then she got stuck. Then after that, Fox and them was like, we need some money. We need a job. I've been wearing the same clothes for the past 2 weeks. And yeah. And then after that, General Pepper came in. He was like, General Pepper here. Fox, I have a new job for you. It's on Dinosaur Planet. You have to restore it. And he was like, is it going to be hard? And then Fox and then General Pepper was like, no. And then Fox was like, okay. So then they flew down there. And then he got off the boat. I mean, not the boat. He got off the ship. And then Fox was like, okay, let's go try and save the planet. So then he walking around trying to talk to dinosaurs, but he don't know what they're saying because dinosaurs like, and then Fox was like, dang, I can't understand y'all well. And then he found some staff, and then he was like, I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna steal it. Yeah. And then after that, he was like going around fighting dinosaurs and stuff. And then eventually he found the Queen Earthwalker, and then he walked in there, he was like, is anybody there? And then after that, like the Queen Earthwalker was like, oh, you gotta find my son. And then Fox was like, okay. So then she was like, get help for the warp stone, he'll help you. And Fox was like, okay. So then he found the warp stone, and he was like, you gonna help me? He was like, no. And he was like, why? And then the warp stone was like, bring me a present and I'll think about it. So then Fox went to the store, and then he got a piece of rock candy, brought it back to the warp stone, and the warp stone was like, I'm still not helping you. Fox was like, but you're a warp stone, you're supposed to help. Yeah. And after the warp stone was like, stop crying, Fox. And he was like, mommy. And then the warp stone was like, okay, I'll help you, get in my hand. So then the warp stone transported him to the ice mountain. Then after that, he was there trying to find the Earthwalker's son, and he found him, and his name is Tricky, and Tricky is real annoying or whatever. But anyway, they got back to the Earthwalker Queen, and like she was about to die, and then Tricky was like, she needs some white grub tub, let's go find some. And the Fox was like, okay. And so then they went to the big old well, and then as soon as they got down, the Tricky was like, let's play. And the Fox was like, no. And then they found the grub tubs, and then they gave it to the Queen or whatever, and then she was like, thank you, Fox. And now you gotta go help everybody else on Dinosaur Planet and restore the planet. You gotta find all the spell stones and all the own Krazoa spirits. And Fox was like, is that gonna be hard? And then he asked Tricky that, and Tricky was like, let's play. And Fox was like, God. So then after that, they went to like all the temples and tried to find like all the spell stones and stuff, and then eventually they found them all, and then they found all the Krazoa spirits except one, cause like There's 4 spellstones and 6 Grizzle spirits. Fox found like 4 of them. Crystal found one in the beginning. So then there's one left. And Fox was like, dun, 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 I can't find it. And then after that, like Tricky's mom was like, I got it, Crystal Palace. So then after that, Fox went there, and then he was trying to find the last Grizzle spirit, and then freaking General Scales came up, and he was like, Fox, you're going to die. And then Fox was like, yeah, maybe. And then after that, they started to fight, but before you could land a blow on General Scales, this voice from the distance was like, Scales, your time is up. And then Scales was like, so then after that, he was like, Fox, you're going to get it now, okay. And then, like, the voice ordered General Skills to give Fox the Grizzle spirit. He was like, "Why? It's mine." And then after that, like the voice was like, "Just do it." And he was like, "Okay." So then he gave the spirit to Fox, and the Fox was like, "Yeah." And then Fox remembered to put that song on his iPod when he get through. But then after that, Fox found Fox went to the last shrine and then released the spirit, and he was like, Dinosaur Planet is safe. But then after that, like, the whole place started shaking, and then all of a sudden, like, that big old head that told General Skills to give him the spirit turned out to be Andros. Dun, dun, dun. And the Fox was like, oh my god. Dun, dun, dun. And then Andros was like, Fox, you're gonna die. Dun, dun, dun. And then Fox was like, how am I gonna stop you? Dun, dun, dun. And Andros was like, I don't know. And then Andros flew into the sky, and he was like, the universe is mine. And then after that, Fox was like, I need help. So then he went up there and asked Crystal for help. But the Crystal got mad at Fox for stealing her staff in the beginning. And then she was like, give me that back. And then after that, Fox was like, if it wasn't for me, you still be named Crystal, you stupid trick. And Crystal was like, my staff, you're buck. And then she like started shooting fireballs into the air, but they weren't doing nothing. And then Fox was like, God, you're such a retard. So then he went to his ship and tried to stop Andros himself. And then he went up there. And then he was like, Andros. And then Andros was like, Fox, we meet again. And now I'm going to destroy the world. And then Fox was like, I gotta stop him. And then the music started going, dun, 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 yeah, whatever. And the Fox was like, mark this down for my iPod. And then after that, Fox was trying to defeat Andros, but Andros was cheating. And then Fox was like, I'm going to die. And then Andros was like, die, Fox. Gigantic meteor. And then he shot the thing, but then Falco was like, Fox, I'm gonna save you. He came out of nowhere. And then freaking, like, Falco gave Fox some bombs, and the Fox was like, take this. And then he shot the bomb in Andros' mouth, and then Andros was like, and then he eventually blew up. And the Fox was like, warrior. And then he won. And then after that, Fox was all happy and stuff. And then he went back to the ship. And then everybody celebrating and jump, like they was like popping champagne and stuff, and like sleeping in was drinking and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Paper was like, oh yeah, Fox, you got a message from Crystal. And then Crystal was like, Fox, I just want to tell you thank you. But then whenever the message, then she started talking, it started playing this like jazzy music or whatever. It was like, or whatever. And then after that, Crystal came in, whatever. And like apparently Crystal changed clothes because like she wore something like super slutty. And then after that, like Fox was like, oh my god, you're so fine, Crystal. Oh my god. But he didn't say that to her or whatever. Like he was thinking it, you know, cause Fox ain't got no game. And after that, Crystal was like, Fox, thank you for saving me. And then Fox was like, no problem. And then after that, Fox started like sweating and stuff. And then freaking Rob was like, Fox, your temperature is going up like 40,000 degrees. And then Sleepy was like, Fox, you gonna be okay? And then Fox was like, I'm gonna be just fine.